Brothers and sisters, I come before you today probably not having a day off in like 2 weeks, but I'll tell you what, I am very refreshed, and I'll tell you why. This last week from Sunday to Friday, I was with 250 6th through 10th graders from our diocese, from around northeastern Minnesota, at Camp Survive. And Camp Survive is a Catholic camp for 6th through 9th graders properly, and then the 10th grade group is a little separate. And it's a beautiful Catholic camp put on by Father Michael Schmitz, and then I help Father Mike with the camp as well. My job is to take care of the 10th graders. Not take care of them, but take care of them. There were 23 of them this time, and these 23 10th graders were called the prayer team. And the prayer team, what they do in their job is to learn some of the ways of prayer they may not know about already, and then intercede in their prayers for the rest of the campers, the 220 plus that were there. They prayed for them that they might have an encounter with God during that time, encounter healing and God's love, which is very real. And we, as a prayer team, I led that with 4 other staff people. And we would have 2 holy hours a day in front of the Blessed Sacrament. Confessions were offered on Tuesday night by 15 priests, and we heard confessions for an hour and a half. Everyone went. And when the kids were done, the staff started to go to confession as well. There was daily Mass, where we celebrated the Eucharist very beautifully, very reverently. These kids received the Eucharist. Many of them actually knelt down on their knees to receive the Eucharist and on the tongue. Beautiful displays, and doing it quite naturally, not in some rigid, awkward way. You could tell they were cognizant, at least mostly, of who they were receiving in the Eucharist. Then on Wednesday night and Thursday night, we had adoration in front of the Blessed Sacrament as an entire camp with some praise and worship songs during that time. And what I witnessed there, especially on Thursday night, I saw 250 6th through 10th graders praising God, singing out with all of their lungs, with tears in their eyes and smiles on their faces, overjoyed at what love they had experienced in Jesus in the Eucharist. One of the prayer team, she's a 10th grade girl, she actually started to giggle during the kind of silent periods in adoration. She started to giggle a little bit with a smile on her face, and one of the staff people kind of realized it was getting a little loud. So they went over and tapped her on the shoulder, and she said to the staff person, "But Kevin, we just love Jesus so much." That was her response to "Are you okay?" when she was giggling. We just love Jesus so much. They are so thirsty, our youth, for God. They're still little lovers even when they get into 6th through 10th grade, even though we may not see that at times. They really are. They're thirsty for it, and they need an environment in which they can encounter Him there. Some of them, the grace of the Lord takes off in their hearts. One of a 10th grade girls, she's the only one in her family that goes to Mass. She has a mom and a dad and several siblings. She's the only one, and she follows through on it. And she is genuine. God is raising up these young people to be His army in the future. When some of the rest of the society has grown drowsy and weary and discouraged, these young kids have this hope in God that we can all have as well. It is not just theirs to enjoy. The reason I tell you this is that God is still doing good things, even though we don't see that oftentimes, because the media has more power, even is as influential as our government is on our opinions and minds. Yet, who elected them? Good question. But let's think about who really influences us. Is it God and the Scriptures and our prayer life with Him, which will bring us faith, hope, and true love that will not disappoint us, that will not rear its ugly head and turn around and betray us? No, it is we who betray Him so often. The Lord is real and good and true and beautiful all the time. It is only for us to turn to Him and surrender. And so, These youth and the beauty that I witnessed, and I witnessed even on Friday when their parents were picking them up, I saw these parents in tears looking at their kids, totally transformed by the love of Jesus. And that is real. I just experienced that. And that can be ours as well, that joy. Joy is the first effect of grace in our lives. How do we do that? How do we experience that transformation? I'm going to teach you one little prayer as a beginning way. If you've never encountered the Lord in a big way, and you're even distracted during my homily in some fashion, I want to teach you this prayer because it will help your soul. Draw near to Jesus. Experience his personal love for you. Draw you back to his sacraments to see his love there, because it is us that are sometimes blind to the grace that's there. So the prayer is this, and it's the prayer of surrender. I'm going to say it 3 times, and I'll publish it on our social media so that it's still out there in written form if you forgot it. This is the prayer. Oh Jesus, I surrender all to you. Take care of everything. Oh Jesus, I surrender all to you. Take care of everything. Oh Jesus, I surrender all to you. Take care of everything. And please repeat these words after me now. Oh Jesus, I surrender all to you. Take care of everything. And one more time. Oh Jesus, I surrender all to you. Take care of everything. And he will.